Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerdbone with a little something special for all my D&D nerds. You see, here's the thing. Since we've entered this quarantine and all that jazz, uh, it's been one of those not necessarily like it's not hard to fill my time. I got things to clean. I got teaching the kiddo. Like we're doing the homeschooling thing. The school is sending us stuff. It's great. It's not hard to find something to do, but it's kind of hard to not get bored. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. I think you know what I'm on about. So I have been playing more D&D lately, which has been a crazy amount of fun, especially because my DM, my brother, Ash, also known as 1K Watts, my brother, podcast coming up soon. I'm so excited. Anyhoozle, um, so we've been doing a lot more D&D stuff. I was able to get in on his group. They play online, and it's a different type of D&D that I am used to. Now, obviously, I've played one shots before. I've played, long campaigns, maybe twice, I guess, twice. I've DM'd a couple of times now, which has been a ton of fun. But my brother's way of DMing is just it's so much fun. And it definitely follows what me and my buddy Chris Sampson at Kyo Ninja for Hire will say is the rule of cool. Now, I don't know if that's an internationally known thing. Maybe it is. I don't know. But the rule of cool being, yes, there are rules that we have to follow. If you cast a spell like this, it's got to go like that, so on and so forth. But at the same time, we're here to have fun. And I know I've talked about that before on past Dungeons and Dragons stuff. So let's bring it on up to this past Sunday. Another game with Ash. The group we call, or he calls, TNT D&D, and you should follow him for more Dungeons and Dragons adventures on his Twitter account, Ash2RPG. It's amazing. The stuff that goes on is incredible, and the cast of characters, like every time everybody comes up with a new character, it's like this weird Magnificent Seven type, but it's perfect. It's quintessential fun Dungeons and Dragons. All right. So what we usually do is one shots. I have not been in on a full-blown campaign in a while because they're not super hard to do over the interwebs. It's just been we've had some technical difficulties and stuff like that, so it's just easier if we do it every couple of weeks. We hop on board on a Sunday, we do a one shot. Now, this past week's one shot was he called it a monster mash. So the idea was originally it was going to be an arena, and we all pick monsters as our characters, right? Which, by the way, flipping through the monster manual, I forgot a lot of things that are in the monster manual. I almost played a unicorn. I think I might do that the next time we do a monster mash because it's a unicorn, guys, right? Anyway, so I'm flipping through the monster manual, and we have it set up, and again, the idea is arena full of monsters clash, right? So I'm flipping through. I'm like, oh yeah, that looks good. Oh yeah, frost giant or something, or oh hey, there's the unicorn. Could be a unicorn. And then I get to the oozes, and I see Gelatinous Cube, and I let out what I can only describe as a giggle or a chuckle, if you will. If you want to make it a little more masculine, sure, a chuckle, but dudes can giggle too, and I giggled. And it started morphing in my mind, like, okay, I'm a cube. Ready? Boom, I'm a cube. All right. Now, what's my motivation? Because I've taken some acting classes. All right. I've been on stage. I'm like, I know how to do this role playing thing. Right. So, but a gelatinous cube, it doesn't have a brain. So what can we do? And then through more conversations with Ash and with the group, I come to figure out that the idea is we'll take a typical player character, pick a race, pick a, whatever, and on alignment and all that jazz, jack it up to level 20, and then add on attributes of a monster. Okay. Now, my train of thought, and count this impressive if you will, it's up to you. My train of thought is, what if I'm a soldier of some sort? I'll be a human, right? I'm a human character. And here's the thing, I'm an adventurer, and I get absorbed by a gelatinous cube. I get engulfed, right? Except somehow my brain, instead of just dissolving with the rest of my body, right? My brain assimilates, I think is the word, morphs with the gelatinous cube. And now I am the consciousness of the gelatinous cube. It's a gelatinous cube, mostly transparent, we'll call it semi-transparent gelatinous cube with just this floating skeleton in it. Shout out to Max Dunbar, amazing artist, who has already done a couple of different versions of the gelatinous cube. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have. But typically you see like a skeleton hanging out in there, maybe just a skull and like a femur or something like that. Max did a great one, black and white, where it's a full skeleton of a soldier. He's holding a sword. He's got a little helmet on. And that's immediately what I thought of. I was like, okay, here's where we're going to go. I am a person, and I am now psychically linked and in control of this gelatinous cube. All right. Jack up the stats to 20. I add in the gelatinous cube stuff. Now I got to remember, I'm the gelatinous cube now. So I can only move as fast as the cube would usually go. And I can't be like, I don't have like arms. I could probably have done this, but I don't have arms sticking out where I can swing swords or axes or fire a bow and arrow or anything like that. So all I have is the movement of the gelatinous cube, the consciousness of a person, and the attacks of a gelatinous cube, which include engulf. And there's another one that, hold on, let me check my notes real quick. Pseudopod, which is a melee. I think it's supposed to be like you can sort of form like an appendage for just a sec and just whack somebody with it within 5 feet, 3d6 acid damage. Yeah. So I jack up the stats, and I add my attacks. And then the game changes slightly. It now becomes a hunt for the Holy Grail. So now we've got all these creatures in a dungeon searching for the Holy Grail. And I'm a gelatinous cube. Now, I was not expecting to have to move fast. I was like, oh yeah, I can only move 20 feet at a time, but that's okay, because if anybody comes near me, I'm a gelatinous cube. I'm just going to engulf the person, and it's fine, right? I'm like the Snorlax of this Pokemon battle, all right? But now it has switched to searching for treasure. All right, let me pull this up so you guys can see it. Here is Alan, the gelatinous cube. All right, we got +3 strength, dexterity, constitution, etc. +2, +3, +2, 0 on the wisdom, 3 on the charisma. All right, 184 on the hit points. I love it. I love it. Everybody else had done the same thing where they took a character, they jacked it up to 20, right? And then added the elements of whatever creature they wanted, right? So everybody's floating around, I want to say around 145. I don't know if I was the highest. I think I do have the highest hit points out of the group. Now, here's my favorite part. My favorite part is as I'm going through the process on D&D Beyond, jacking up all the stats to 20, that sort of thing. You then go through the section where there's the drop downs where you can add on, you add on additional things as you progress through levels, right? So you add on proficiencies. So for some reason, I think I ended up with like 8 or 9 proficiency upgrades, right? The first 7 of them I chose, and you choose 2 each, right? The first 7, I choose just charisma. So I am the most charismatic dudes stuck inside a gelatinous cube you've ever seen. Strength is +9, that's whatever. Charisma, now +3. Constitution +9, I also jacked that up. But look at this. My acrobatics are a +5. I'm a gelatinous cube. Why would I have a +5 to acrobatics? And look at this, a +9 to athletics down here. Insanity. Intimidation +9. I mean, you're a gelatinous cube. Of course, you're intimidating when people actually see you. Performance, again, +9. +8 to religion. I did not get a chance to talk to my god, but if I had, let me tell you, I did not take off my longsword or my unarmed strike because I was sort of throwing this together. But here we go, down in other pseudopod engulf. Fantastic. I loved it. So so long story short-ish. So we get going in the game, and I realize that now, my movement has screwed me to a certain extent. And then I get to a doorway. So I'm just on the other side of the doorway, and one of the other characters tries to squeeze by me. It's just one of those, okay, I'm just going to push this little corner of the gelatinous cube off to one side. Meanwhile, I've just been sitting I had already had like 3 turns. I'm like, still going across the bridge, boss. Just each movement, and then I would roll for perception, because why not? Maybe I'll notice something that nobody else does. Didn't turn out, but I'm sitting there doing nothing, listening, paying attention, and the guy says, he's like, I'm just gonna sneak by real quick. I'm just gonna push the little jello off to the side just a little bit, and get around it and through this doorway. And my DM gets this huge smile on his face, and he's like, "Hey Ben, why don't you inform our pal here what happens when you touch a gelatinous cube?" I'm like, "Oh, I would be absolutely delighted to do so." So let's go over here to engulf. All right. Cube moves up to its speed. While doing so, it can enter larger or smaller creature spaces. Whenever the cube enters a creature's space, or if the creature comes into your space, the creature must make a DC 12 dexterity saving throw. Now, luckily for him, he got a 17. All right. On a successful save, the creature can choose to be pushed 5 feet back, which he did. He ended up sneaking by me then, which I was like, damn, almost had one, right? And in the meantime, throughout the entire chat, I'm like, hey, everybody, hey, do you want to become part of the cube? Cube gang, let's go. Everybody should be in the cube. It's amazing in here. You'll love it. I promise. It's so good, right? All right. On a failed save, the cube enters the creature's space, so the creature takes 10 or 3d6 acid damage and is engulfed. The engulfed creature can't breathe, is restrained, and takes 21, or 6d6 acid damage at the start of each of the cube's turns. So if I had engulfed this guy, immediately at the start of each of my turns, he gets 6d6 damage. No matter what, he's getting 6d6 damage. Now, he can roll a strength check to see if he can get out. I think it was also a 12. I think that's also a DC 12 save. But anyway, he got lucky. Now, here's the fun part. He gets by. Other people are doing things. Everybody's just sort of around, right? And then I go to, my, I don't know, 9th turn, still just moving, still just sliding along, wiggle, 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 ready to engulf anybody who comes by. And I couldn't help myself. I'm sitting there listening to everybody else's turns. And I decide to, let me bring up the share screen here. I decide I am going to tweet my experiences as a gelatinous cube. Oh, hey, look, there's Cameron Esposito. She's awesome. So I decided to start Alan the Cube. Alan Cube D&D on Twitter. Because I just can't help myself. There we go. There's the awesome, well, it's a profile picture version, but the awesome picture by Max Dunbar. He's amazing. That's Alan inside his cube. I do not own that image, I should say, on my live stream. That's not mine. It's Max's. Let's see. This is just this little sliver of the Toil and Trouble D&D logo, which is amazing. All right. Honestly, if I didn't have Netflix, I probably wouldn't survive in here. But I guess that's the case for everyone these days. Hashtag Cube Life, hashtag D&D. I should have thrown on a like a hashtag whatchamacallit, quarantine. Made sense. I retweeted a thing about, look, Solo doesn't deserve all the hate it gets. That is true. At least from inside the cube, it's true. All right. This one I thought was brilliance incarnate. Good news, we just rolled past a goat and I scored half of it. Bad news, it's the back half and there's no way to cook it in here. Goat ass sushi, anyone? Hashtag Cube Life, hashtag Dungeons and Dragons. Look, I think this was a absolute moment of brilliance in my life. All thanks to my brother, all thanks to the idea of a Monster Mash. There have been a lot of characters that I'm proud of. And there's been a lot of created characters on D&D Beyond that I have had to slash out. I've had to get rid of to make room for others. This is not one that I will get rid of. This is just, I love Alan the Cube. I do. And I hope you do too. I hope you enjoy the Cube Life. You should join us. Hashtag Cube Life. Follow Alan Cube D&D on Twitter for more fun, because I love having fun, and I love having fun with D&D, and I love having fun with you guys. So yeah, Alan Cube D&D on Twitter. Also, Ash2 RPG is my brother, and all of his amazing D&D adventures and trials and tribulations, if you will, documented there. So much fun stuff every single time we play, I swear. What else? What else we got? At Nerdbone, of course. And thank you guys so much for hanging out. We are going to be doing more podcasts. I'm trying for 2 times a week, but here's the thing. I love doing these live streams as well. It's just a little bit difficult to translate the live stream to the podcast space, because obviously talking to you guys, like when people comment, I'm in the comments as well and answering comments, that sort of thing. And then also you know, like I was just doing, I did the split screen thing. So this will be uploaded to YouTube as well, for you guys to watch later if you want to listen back, if you want to check out more about Alan Cube, or if you want me to send you, or maybe I could just post it. Really, I think I could just post the link to Alan Cube. Feel free to use Alan Cube or whatever you decide to name your man stuck inside a cube. Go for it. Excuse me. Oh, the iced coffee is just killing my digestion. Any hoozle. Yes, have fun, have an adventure. I hope you guys are doing all right out there. I hope you're having a blast every once in a while, at least once a week. Give yourself that once a week. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker. It's everywhere. At Nerdbone on the tweets and the Instagrams and all that jazz. Nerdbone brand on Facebook. And make sure to do check out our new merchandise. I got stickers. We got mugs. We got t-shirts. We got bags. I like bags. I like a good canvas bag to haul stuff around it. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you are just tuning in, I am logging off for the night. But you can check out the show on repeat on Facebook and Twitch. The Twitch channel is Nerdbone Pod, Nerdbone Brand on Facebook. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Peace.